Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Professor Layton vs. Phoenix Wright, which is not really much of a versus and more of let's work together from two different series. The game. Something like that. Anyway, we are right now condemning that Kira is the witch, and she, as the professor is pointing at right now, is starting to show her true colors. She's starting to go a little cray-cray over there. So let's find out if we can, you know, maybe finish this case today with this video, maybe? We're getting really close as far as I know. Let's go.
Oh? Whatever do you mean? Okay then, everyone. It looks like that's that.
Hold it! No! Wait, you can't leave! This cross-examination isn't over!
Now, that's funny. You say it isn't over, and yet the rest of the court seems to think otherwise. Isn't that right, Inquisitor Barnum?
Barnum is having some second thoughts here. The Inquisition maintains that the real witch is the accused, Espella Cantabella. This girl is nothing more than a witness. As such, the court cannot force her to stay against her will. This is bad. If they let her walk out...
Nick! Do you think she could be...
the real witch?
You really like throwing around accusations, don't you, Sir Defender? Let me spell it out for you one last time, so even you can understand. I didn't know this man's name at all before today. I still don't remember it. So, how could I have called out to him? Do you get it now? Now then, until we meet again, don't forget to buy some flowers on your way home, everyone.
Hold it.
Professor's not done with you! One moment, please, Miss Kira.
Is there something else you wanted?
You don't seem to realize what you just let slip.
What are you talking about?
This man testified that he heard his name called at the crime scene. However, you had no knowledge of his name at the time. Is that correct?
That's right. This weirdo is just imagining things. Like I said, I've already forgotten his name, even though he told it to us earlier.
There is just one problem, Miss Kira. Namely, what the voice he heard tonight was actually saying.
Huh?
What do you mean? That's obvious. It was a name, wasn't it? Now, what was that name again? Me lord, I'm still here, you know. You're saying that what this man heard tonight, wasn't a name, but rather something else entirely. Indeed I am, Inquisitor Barnum. Something else. Aha! There's only one other thing it could be. It's a stretch, but the possibility is there. That's right, Mr. Wright. That single possibility is the key to solving this mystery. Is the defense ready to present its evidence to the court?
This is ridiculous! I demand you let me go this instant!
Bottoms like new. Witness, what you are being accused of is not to be taken lightly. You will not leave this courtroom so long as any reasonable doubt remains. Defender, you may present your evidence. Show the court what the voice this man heard tonight was really saying. It was saying a spell. This spell in particular. Excuse me, Mr. I'm sorry, what's your name again? You've, got a name that no one seems to be able to remember for some reason. Oi! It's Amir! My name's Amir, darn it! How many times have I got to say it? No matter the number of times you say it, you do not look like an Amir.
Again, I only remember my most loyal customers' names, and he doesn't look like he could afford even a single daisy.
Come on, guys! Stop kicking a guy when he's down! Well, he certainly has enough money to get enough booze for himself. Mr. Amir, what you heard tonight at the crime scene was not your name. Your name just so happens to sound exactly like a certain other name. Another name. The answer is right here in this tome. I'm talking about Amire. Amir! What he actually heard at the time wasn't his own name. It was the name of a magical incantation. What the? Rubble. Miss Kira, have you forgotten what you said just a few minutes ago? You quite clearly stated that you didn't know this man's name.
Objection!
Sir Blue Knight, let me get this straight. You're saying that the Amir heard by the witness was actually said by this flower girl, and that it was not his name at all, but rather the incantation of a magic spell. The defense proposes the following. The true criminal, the supposed witch, is not the defendant, Mrs. Spella Cantabella, but instead the witness who was heard uttering the magic incantation, Miss Kira. She's our witch! You used magic to vanish from the scene and tried to frame Miss Cantabella instead!
No!
What just happened? Is that girl... Is this fella really not a witch?
Unbelievable! I've never heard anything like this.
Inquisitor Barnum? Have those two really defeated Inquisitor Barnum?
Objection!
An impressive display, Sir Blue Knight. It would seem you have finally managed to hone your blade. However, I believe that blade's edge is already beginning to dull. What do you mean? I'm referring to a contradiction, naturally. Hey, that's my line. Milord, the Inquisition would like to set the record straight regarding what transpired this evening. Very well, Inquisitor Barnum. Sir Blue Knight, you claim the following. At the time of the crime, the accused Isabella Cantabella was surrounded by the two rogues. And then, in order to frame the accused as a witch, Miss Kira cast the spell Demir and made herself vanish. She then moved in closer to the victims, at which point she cast Ignaze, thus causing the incident seen by our witnesses tonight. Indeed, that does seem to be the claim. The problem is what happened next. There is a contradiction in the defense's account of Miss Kira's movements. A contradiction in her movements? Allow me to continue. The witnesses have stated that they each ventured out towards the crime scene. Which is when Miss Kira, the witch, made her way to this point, while still invisible. When she arrived at said spot, she then cast a mirror and reappeared to join the other witnesses. And there you have it. That is accurate, isn't it, Sir Blue Knight? That's correct. Then Mr. Amir heard her call his name. Well then, I have but one question that I would like you to answer. Why would a witch need to do such a thing? What do you mean? Supposing Miss Kira were a witch, surely she would not have made the conscious decision to reappear then when she did. One would imagine she would remain hidden and flee the crime scene.
Quite right. That's what I'd do if I was a witch.
Given that point, there would be no viable reason for her to recite the incantation. In other words, it is inconceivable that this flower seller, Miss Kira, could be a witch.
What? What just happened? Is that girl... Is Kira really not a witch?
Inquisitor Barnum just turned this entire trial right around.
Just what I expect from Labyrinth's Sword of Justice.
Oh, god damn it! This is the trial that never ends. It just goes on and... Oh. Well!
That's right! You all heard it! It's just as Inquisitor Barnum said! Me, a witch! The idea is laughable!
Not good. She's completely bounced back on her feet. Oh, we were so close, too.
I can't believe Inquisitor Barnum! Can't he see it? You just have to take one good look at her! It's obvious she's the real witch here!
Remember, Mr. Wright, at times like this, a cool head will prevail. Mr. Layton! I'm sure you have had to fight your way out of circumstances such as these many times before. This situation is no different. As a defense attorney, what would you usually do at such a time? Layton, I don't need you to tell me this stuff. What would I usually do? Of course. There's only one thing that can get me out of this situation like this. I've got to flip this case on its head and think outside the box. It would seem the defense has nothing further to add.
Why, of course. That's because everyone knows the truth. They know that girl right there is the real witch. That settles it then. Go ahead and deliver your verdict, my lord.
Objection.
How about no? The situation is exactly as you described, Inquisitor Barnum. It really doesn't make much sense for the witch to have used a mirror. Regardless, the defense still maintains that Miss Kira did utter that incantation and make herself reappear. Now, the question is, for what reason? If she really didn't have to use that spell, then why use it in the first place? If I can find the answer to that question, then this entire case will start to unravel. Most fascinating. Very well, allow us to hear this theory of yours. Tell the court why it was necessary for the witch to appear at the crime scene. Well, we're still in the game. Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. The reason Miss Kira reappeared at the scene of the crime was... well, cover up her crime. Excuse me. All those answers were viable, and it took me a moment because I'm like, these are trick questions. I can't think of any other possibility. This has to be the answer. Isn't it obvious? She was trying to cover up her own crime. Oh, is that right? Tell me, why would she do that? Well, just give me a minute. I'm getting to that part. I don't think Barnum has that bit of time. That will not be necessary, Sir Blue Knight. Huh? Think about it. What would she have to hide? If no one could have seen her to begin with.
You heard the good Inquisitor. No matter how you look at it, there'd be no reason for me to reappear, assuming I was the criminal, that is.
Ugh, I can't argue with that. Oops, I pushed too fast. Kira's just like, ah! Pardon the interruption, but that's not necessarily the case. Mr. Layton. Explain yourself, Sir Top Hat. You have stated that Miss Kira had no reason to reappear. However, the situation changed, and it became necessary for her to show herself. Isn't that right, Miss Kira?
Huh? What are you talking about? I have no idea what you mean.
It would seem the defense must clarify their argument with evidence. Mr. Wright, I believe that Miss Kira did not intend to reveal herself at the crime scene. Rather, that something occurred which forced this young lady to make herself reappear. What was so important that she had to reappear and risk being spotted? Defender, tell the court why it would have been necessary for the witch to appear at the crime scene. Her glasses. If you remember, her glasses went missing.
Take that!
Miss Kira, you usually wear glasses, is that correct?
Huh? It's It's like I already told you. I lost my glasses a few days ago.
Are you absolutely sure about that? Or did you not, in fact, lose them tonight during the crime?
Of course not.
Perhaps you accidentally dropped them while you were committing the crime. Then, as you were attempting to make your escape, you noticed they were gone. Therefore, you made yourself reappear in order to search for your missing glasses.
No!
Objection!
How absurd! Such baseless conjecture! What you propose is fundamentally flawed. What do you mean? Let us assume, hypothetically, that the witch did in fact drop this evidence. That does not explain what purpose it would serve for her to make herself reappear. It would still make more sense for her to escape under the cover of darkness.
Objection!
You sure about that? Unfortunately, Inquisitor Barnum, such a plan was simply not possible. What? Mr. Wright, do you understand what I'm suggesting? Yes! He means the reason Miss Kira made herself reappear at the crime scene. Okay, this is it. Defender, enlighten us. Why did the witness feel the need to make herself reappear? She couldn't find her glasses. The answer is simple, Your Honor. She couldn't find her glasses. She couldn't not find them. If you've noticed, she's still not wearing her glasses right now.
Objection!
Hold a moment, Sir Blue Knight. What does that have to do with anything?
That's right. It doesn't change a single thing.
Objection!
That's where you're wrong. In fact, it changes things quite a bit. Tonight, the two victims were engulfed by flames, courtesy of a magic spell. That very instant, 4 witnesses saw the flames erupt at the scene. It was at that point that something you didn't expect occurred. You suddenly lost your glasses. That's right, you were scared that if your glasses were discovered at the scene of the crime, you would be suspected of being a witch!
Objection!
What foolishness! Even if her glasses were found, she could simply have explained that she dropped them there days before the crime happened.
Objection!
I'm afraid that is not a possibility, Sir Inquisitor Barnum. Excuse me. What did you say? If you recall, it had been raining quite heavily at this crime scene beforehand. Had she stated that she dropped her glasses before the crime, then naturally, one would expect the glasses to be soaked in water and covered in mud. However, the rain had already stopped at the time the crime itself was committed. In other words, one look at a pair of clean, dry glasses would reveal she had dropped them later, thus implicating her as the witch.
No!
I should have known. I was perfecting my rainfall rending technique in the forest, and not once during the rainfall did I see that flower maiden traveling along the nearby path. That's not all. In order to frame Miss Cantabella as the witch, you need to leave this witch's scepter behind at the scene of the crime. Oh, I see. That would be the most definitive evidence that she is the witch. The objective here was to have somebody else discover the staff at the scene. Alas, that person was I. You know, now that I think about it, this whole thing would have been easily solved if they just gave Espella the scepter and told her to use a magic spell. If it didn't work, then there you go, she's not a witch, problem solved. But then it would be a really boring game, wouldn't it? However, no doubt you came to realize that one can deduce which spells were used simply by examining the magic gems on the scepter. In this case, one can see that the witch must have used a mirror to vanish from sight and make her escape. That's why, Miss Kira, you were left with no option but to reappear at the crime scene. That was the only way for you to avoid suspicion if someone were to discover your glasses at the crime scene. By reappearing, you'd be able to explain that you simply dropped your glasses when you rushed to see what had happened. What do you have to say to that, Miss Kira?
You know, I've let you both ramble on and on, but playtime is over. So, So that's it, then? I'm a witch because I dropped my glasses? I must have said it how many times now? I lost my glasses days ago. Were you even listening? I'll say it again. Over 1,000,000 times! I lost my glasses, I lost my glasses! Do you like evidence, Sir Defender? Do you love proof, Sir Top Hat? Then prove I dropped my glasses at the crime scene. Ha! You can't prove it!
Good lord!
In other words, you lose.
Kira, please. Bless. That is correct. Proving such a thing would indeed be impossible. To prove that the witness dropped her glasses at the crime scene, what say you, Inquisitor Barnum? 'Tis indeed a question of proof, my lord. These glasses have been missing from the very beginning. The Knights of the Inquisition found no trace of these glasses anywhere near the crime scene. Therefore, this witness cannot, in any way, be accused of being a witch.
You heard the man.
But we were so close!
That girl is a witch! Can't anyone else see that? What should we do, Professor?
Oh, he's got that knowing smile going on. Well, it would seem the young lady has finished what she had to say, wouldn't you agree, Mr. Wright? Yes, it certainly looks that way, Mr. Layton.
What's with that face? Do you find something funny here?
It is as you said, Inquisitor Barnum. Explain. The defense raises just one further question. Why were you unable to find those glasses?
What do you mean?
You must have searched the area quite thoroughly looking for them. And yet, even now, the Knights have been unable to locate those glasses. Did you ever wonder why? Yes, that has become quite the mystery. Surely they must have been around somewhere. The glasses were lost to the wolves. That is the only explanation. There is still one remaining place that you have not searched tonight.
Huh? What do you say?
The glasses were supposedly not found at the crime scene, leaving only one other possible place. What is this? You too. Ugh. Have at you, Sir Blue Knight. Draw your blade and reveal to the court where the glasses are supposedly hiding. It looks like I've somehow managed to make it through my first witch trial. It all comes down to this, the final piece of evidence. Time to clear up this case once and for all. I leave the rest in your capable hands, Mr. Wright. The piece of evidence pointing to the one place not searched tonight is the bucket of milk.
Take that!
Tonight, there was one thing that was carried away from the crime scene right under everyone's noses.
Carried away?
I am speaking, of course, about this. That's the milk bucket that disappeared from the crime scene. Thus far, the defense's claims that the glasses were dropped at the crime scene has been regarded as mere speculation. However, if Miss Kira, we find your glasses within the contents of this milk bucket, then our mere speculation will suddenly become fact. What matter of witchery?
What are you talking about? You're crazy, just crazy! No way could my glasses be inside that stupid bucket! That's just impossible!
How about we quit with the speculation and actually find out? What do you say, Inquisitor Barnum?
That'll just waste the court's time! Don't listen to them! Don't!
'Tis mandated that the Knights of the Inquisition investigate any and all possibilities during the course of a trial. Milord, the Inquisition requests that this milk bucket be searched immediately. Very well. Oh! What? Can't get away from this now. Miss Kira, as you can see, your glasses have been found inside the milk bucket. The truth is out. Nothing you say can change that now. Which leads us to the next question. Specifically, a question of when. When did you drop your glasses into the milk bucket? What?
Why is this happening? This whole thing is ridiculous! The answer is obvious, isn't it? I dropped them afterwards, after I ran over to see the fire. I took a tiny peek inside that milk bucket. That's when they fell in.
Objection!
Don't be stupid, child. Snowy and I were at the scene first. We made sure to take that milk bucket before anyone else could get their grubby little hands on it. We weren't going to let a single soul get anywhere near that sweet, creamy bucket of deliciousness. You can bet my farm on that.
Each of these 4 witnesses has stated they heard the spell Ignace being cast at the time of the incident. According to the Grand Grimoire, Ignace summons a circle of flame within a 1-meter radius of the caster. In other words, the real witch must have been at Miss Cantabella's side at the time of this incident. Indeed, that is when the glasses fell into the milk bucket. Therefore, there is only one logical conclusion. Only one person could be the true witch. She sounds really constipated now.
Miss Kira, you are the real witch.
Welp! Yay, it's a happy end for everyone! Or is it? What a very strange trial this has been. From the very beginning, we have all paid witness to a most unusual set of circumstances. A baker turned defender, a surprise extra witness, and now a not guilty verdict for the accused. Never have I seen such a spectacle.
Is this really happening? The girl inside the cage. You mean she's the real witch?
But what about that Espella Cantabella girl?
Miss Kira, tell us why. Why were you trying to frame Miss Cantabella?
You could easily have escaped the crime scene without a trace. There was no reason to frame anyone. This crime was a result of nothing but your overwhelming ill intent.
To frame a person as a witch is to condemn that person to death by fire. Surely you must know this. So why Espella Cantabella?
Do you have any idea what it feels like to be a witch?
What it feels like?
I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for these powers, but I have them. And now here I am, begging for my life. I was living such a peaceful life until now. Selling flowers, getting scolded by my boss for not selling enough of them. That's why I was trying to put an end to these trials once and for all.
Put an end to the trials.
You all know what I mean! The one condition written in the story that will end these witch trials!
When the great witch Bezella has been put to the flames and vanquished from this world, these trials will come to an end.
This was my chance to finally end all this. At least that's what I thought. The sun had begun to set on that lonely forest path, and there wasn't a soul in sight. I always carried my hidden Telea Magica with me in case of a moment like this. I used my magic to expose that girl for what she really is. If I had been successful, then all these trials would finally end and I could go on living my peaceful life.
What? What are you saying? Am I hearing this correctly? Are you actually accusing Espella Cantabella?
Why do you think no one has ever seen the legendary Great Witch? It's because she's been hidden in our midst the entire time. She's protected. She's hidden from us. It's all part of the story.
part of the story?
Objection! That's enough! Speak no more. A witch's existence cannot be justified.
No, please! I know you've all noticed it too! You could end this! All of this! That girl! It's all because of that girl! I beg you! Please! Please release me! Knights of the Court! Isn't it your duty to protect the people of this town? Give me another chance!
That is where you're wrong. Tis indeed a knight's duty to protect. We are impelled to protect the citizens of Labyrinthia against you and your ilk. The reason you were offered my protection until now was because your guilt was uncertain. There was the possibility that you were not a witch. The circumstances were such that it seemed another was guilty. That possibility has since disappeared, and your innocence along with it. You now find yourself at the other end of my sword.
No!
Vile witch, enemy of Labyrinthia, may the fires purge you from this land.
Hold it! Please, wait! Stop! Please, just stop this!
Spella!
If it means putting an end to these horrible trials... Let me take her place. Let me be Bezella. Send me to the flames. But please, if it would save her life...
This trial has proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that this flower seller, Kira, is a witch. And according to the law, all those found to be witches will be executed.
Did he say executed? He can't mean...
This is most unsettling.
Bailiff, ready the fire.
Alright, so before I start this cutscene, because we are really over time, I'm just gonna say right now that after the cutscene, it's just gonna stop there, because I'm going over time. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this recording, so I will see you in the next video where we go to the conclusion of the whole trial and stuff like that. And I will talk to you about my problems with this game in the next video too. So, see you guys later, and enjoy the cutscene.
No! No! Don't do this!
Listen to me! Don't let her fool you! Isabella is the Great Witch! Hear me! There's no time to waste! She's Bezella! Take her! And then these witch trolls will be no more! The witch trolls will end...
Means that the real witch is the accused, Spella Cantabella. This girl is nothing more than a witness. As such, the court cannot force her to stay against her will. This is bad. If they let her walk out... Nick! Do you think she could be... the real witch?
You really like throwing around accusations, don't you, Sir Defender? Let me spell it out for you one last time, so even you can understand. I didn't know this man's name at all before today. I still don't remember it. So, how could I have called out to him? Do you get it now? Now then, until we meet again, don't forget to buy some flowers on your way home, everyone.
Hold it.
Professor's not done with you! One moment, please, Miss Kira.
Is there something else you wanted?
You don't seem to realize what you just let slip. Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Professor Layton vs. Phoenix Wright, which is not really much of a versus and more of let's work together from two different series. the game. Something like that. Anyway, we are right now condemning that Kira is the witch, and she, as the professor is pointing out right now, is starting to show her true colors. She's starting to go a little cray-cray over there. So let's find out if we can, you know, maybe finish this case today with this video. Maybe we're getting really close, as far as I know. Let's go.
Oh? Whatever do you mean? Okay then, everyone. It looks like that's that.
Hold it! No! Wait, you can't leave. This cross-examination isn't over.
Now, that's funny. You say it isn't over, and yet the rest of the court seems to think otherwise. Isn't that right, Inquisitor Barnum?
Barnum is having some second thoughts here. The Inquisition maintains, right? That single possibility is the key to solving this mystery. Is the defense ready to present its evidence to the court?
This is ridiculous! I demand you let me go this instant!
Barnum's like, no. Witness, what you are being accused of is not to be taken lightly. You will not leave this courtroom so long as any reasonable doubt remains. Defender, you may present your evidence. Show the court what the voice this man heard tonight was really saying. It was saying a spell. This spell in particular. Excuse me, Mr. I'm sorry, what's your name again? You've, got a name that no one seems to be able to remember for some reason. Oi! It's Amir! Me name's Amir, darn it! How many times have I got to say it? No matter the number of times you say it, you do not look like an Amir.
Again, I only remember my most... What are you talking about?
This man testified that he heard his name called at the crime scene. However, you had no knowledge of his name at the time. Is that correct?
That's right. This weirdo is just imagining things. Like I said, I've already forgotten his name, even though he told it to us earlier.
There is just one problem, Miss Kira. Namely, what the voice he heard tonight was actually saying.
Huh?
What do you mean? That's obvious. It was a name, wasn't it? Now, what was that name again? Me lord, I'm still here, you know. You're saying that what this man heard tonight, wasn't a name, but rather something else entirely. Indeed I am, Inquisitor Barnum. Something else. Aha! There's only one other thing it could be. It's a stretch, but the possibility is there. That's right, Miss.
Loyal customers' names, and he doesn't look like he could afford even a single daisy.
Come on, guys! Stop kicking a guy when he's down! Well, he certainly has enough money to get enough booze for himself. Mr. Amir, what you heard tonight at the crime scene was not your name. Your name just so happens to sound exactly like a certain other name. Another name. The answer is right here in this tome. I'm talking about Amire. Amir? What he actually heard at the time wasn't his own name. It was the name of a magical incantation. What the... Rubble. Miss Kira, have you forgotten what you said just a few minutes ago? You quite clearly stated that you didn't know this man's name.
Objection!
Sir Blue Knight, let me get this straight. You're saying that the Amir heard by the witness was actually said by this flower girl, and that